A Wichita police officer hits and kills a pedestrian. The investigation finds he was deleting emails in his car computer at the time. 51-year-old Jeffrey Moss died as a result of that crash.
So why wasn't the officer charged with any crime or even given a traffic ticket? It's what many of you are asking us. So Fact Finder 12 investigator Brandon Stitt took some of your questions to police and to prosecutors. So Brandon, what have we learned?
Well, Mike and Rachel, there are three elements to a case like this. First, it's criminal, civil, and then administrative, and all three of those happen separately. For the question of criminal charges, I went straight to the district attorney's office.
Can I get EMS 39 to Seneca MacArthur, man down?
That radio call into dispatchers was followed by many questions. It's the February crash involving a Wichita police officer hitting and killing 51-year-old Jeffrey Moss. At the request of WPD Chief Joe Sullivan, the Kansas Highway Patrol investigated. The district attorney's office declined to file criminal charges. So why? According to this KHP report, contributing factors included Moss wearing dark clothing while highly intoxicated in a low-light environment, the officer failing to see Moss in the street, and what has prompted many questions, the officer admitting that he was deleting emails on his computer when the crash happened. The first question, was this inattentive driving? You may say yes, but in Kansas, there is no state statute for inattentive driving, only city ordinances. The troopers investigating the crash cannot write tickets for ordinance violations, and the DA can't charge them. In review of Kansas's texting while driving statute, it does cover the use of laptops, but police are exempt if they are using the laptop in the scope of their employment. When prosecutors review cases, they must consider all details. In this case, they found that because in-car computer use is part of an officer's job, deleting emails was not reckless, and his actions did not rise to the level of vehicular homicide. A lawsuit has now been filed against the city of Wichita, that suit seeking damages in excess of $75,000. And Wichita Police Department confirming tonight that the officer involved in that crash is still employed with the department. They also provided a copy of their in-car computer use policy. Now, it does not specifically prohibit the use of computers for officers when driving a police car. Regardless, Chief Sullivan says his department will conduct a full administrative investigation into what happened.